Hello students, so this is going to be sixth video for class 12th from Vistas, and the chapter is Evans Tries an O-Level. So we are at now page number 81, last paragraph we have to start from. We have already read now in fifth video that exam is over and junior officer, he was there to accompany S. McLeary to the main gates. Means now S. McLeary is gone back with the answer sheet because it will be now submitted in the examination department. And now when this junior officer, he is coming back, coming back from the main gate, he wanted to have a cup of coffee. But then he thought, why not to have a look at Evans now? Means what is now he doing? Because his exam is over. So he just wanted to have a look. Okay, so that's why now he came to the cell before going for a cup of coffee. So page number 81. He re-entered D-Wing, made his way along to Evans' cell and opened the peephole once more. He did not open the lock because there was no use. It was not needed actually. So from the peephole only, he just wanted to see what he is doing now. And opened the peephole once more. Oh no, Christ, no! There sprawled back in Evans' chair was a man. For a semi-second, Stephens thought it must be Vance. A grey regulation blanket slipping from his shoulders. Now from the peephole only he saw that at where Evans was sitting at the time of writing the exam. Now there was somebody. For a second only he thought that it would be Evans only. Okay, because now this person was having the same blanket. That's why maybe for a second only he thought that this is Evans. But this man was badly injured and he was lying on that chair. And this blanket slipping from his shoulders. The front of his closely cropped, irregularly tufted hair awash with fierce red blood, which had dripped already through the small black beard, and was even now spreading horribly over the white clerical collar and down into the black clerical front. Now clerical collar, it shows that this was not Evans, it was S. McLeary only. And this person was really badly injured. He was all bleeding. The blood has now from head, it had come down to the beard, and then now it was coming down to the collar. So this much he was injured. For a second only he thought that because of the blanket and because of that particular chair, he thought that he must be Vance. But now when he saw that this was clerical collar, so clerical collar means it is S. McLeary. Oh my God, it means Evans is run away from, he has escaped from the prison house, and inside the cell was this invigilator, S. McLeary. Stephens shouted wildly for Jackson, and the words appeared to penetrate the curtain of blood that veiled McLeary's ears. Now Stephens, from there only he started shouting for the senior officer, and inside the cell, even McLeary could hear that yes, people had seen him. Okay, for the minister's hand felt feebly for a handkerchief from his pocket and held it to his bleeding head. Now this man, this McLeary, he took one handkerchief from his pocket and tried to press that injured part from where the blood was coming, and the blood seeping slowly through the white linen. But the blood was too much that the whole handkerchief was now having that blood seeping through this, we can say, white linen handkerchief. He gave a long, low moan and tried to speak, but his voice trailed away, and by the time Jackson had arrived and dispatched Stephens to ring the police and the ambulance, the handkerchief was a sticky, squelchy watch of cloth. Now the door was opened, the lock was opened, and the senior officer, he came, and he told junior officer to go and send for ambulance and maybe tell governor also. And by the time the senior officer, he came inside, he saw that this handkerchief was already having that much of blood. McLeary slowly raised himself, his face twisted tightly with pain. Now when McLeary saw that officer is there, he tried to raise himself, tried to stand, though it was maybe very painful and he was not able to stand properly. Then don't worry about the ambulance, man. I am alright. Get the police. I know where he. Now what this man, injured man, was trying to say, S. McLeary, don't worry about me. I know where your culprit has gone, where he has escaped. Okay, you call the police. I can help. Okay, those people. He closed his eyes and another drip of blood splashed like a huge red raindrop on the wooden floor. His hand felt along the table, found the German question paper, and grasped it tightly in his blood-stained hand. Get the governor, I know where he wants. Though it was still blood was coming out, still he was trying to show that he is brave enough that he can help these people to search for events. And that's why now from the other hand, one hand he was already putting with the handkerchief to stop the blood, but with the other hand he took the question paper and he showed this question paper to the senior officer and he said, call the governor. Okay, call your officer. I can tell where this Evans had gone. Almost immediately, sirens were sounding. Prison officers barked orders. Puzzled prisoners pushed their way along the corridors. Doors were banged and bolted, and phones were ringing everywhere. So this was the chaos in the now cell in the we can say whole prison house. Everybody was shouting. Everybody was giving orders, and everybody was in a hurry. Okay, because naturally this is what they were expecting that it could happen, and this had happened now. And within a minute, McLeary, with Jackson and Stephen, supported him on either side. His face, now streaked and caked with drying blood, was greeted in the prison yard by the governor, perplexed and grim. And now they were about to take him, or they were taking him to the governor's office when they saw that governor himself was coming towards the cell, and they met in the corridor, okay, in the prison yard. And by this time the blood had stopped coming out. Maybe it was the clotting had already started, and now this man, he was totally injured, badly injured. Even then he was showing his spirit to help these officers. And what he said, okay, first of all, governor, he was really perplexed and grim. He was serious, and he didn't know what to do now. We must get you to hospital immediately. I just don't. You have called the police. Now governor said, I have already called the ambulance. I think we should take you to the first of all hospital only. But this man, this S. McLeary, he was insisting to call not the ambulance but the police van. He said, you send me with police, I can help you search for Evans. You have called the police? Yes, they are on their way. But I am all right. Look here. Awkwardly, he opened the German question paper and thrust it before the governor's face. It's there. Do you see what I mean? Though on one hand, governor is thinking of putting him in the hospital, but this S. McLeary, he is dead keen to help this governor to search for Evans, and that's why he said, don't worry about me. Okay, I'm all right. And then he showed the question paper. He said, see this question paper. Do you understand? The governor looked down and realized what McLeary was trying to tell him. A photocopied sheet had been carefully and cleverly superimposed over the last originally blank page of the question paper. Now what had happened? Actually, last page of the question paper was blank. Okay, there was nothing printed on the last page. But what these people had done, or we can say the friends of this Evans, what they had done, they had actually typed this whole plan in German language, and they had pasted this paper on the last page, which was originally blank. They had pasted it such a way that it was looking as if this was a part of the question paper only, because the question paper was in German language, and the last page also written something in German language, and anybody could think that this is part of the question paper. But now this S. McLeary only showed, he said, just see for yourself. This is not the part of question paper. Rather, actually, it is the plan only which is superimposed, which is pasted over here. You see what they have done, governor, you see. His voice trailed off again as the governor, dredging the layers of long neglected learning, willed himself to translate the German text before him. Now, this governor, he had also taken this German language when he was in school, and little bit he knew this German language, and that's why now he was trying to read and trying to translate whatever was written in that plan. See Solon, them Sean. So all these things are written in German language, and what does it mean? You must follow the plan already something. Now here, whenever it is written something, it means this particular word, this governor was not able to understand, because this governor had taken or learned German language in primary school, or we can say in school only, and now maybe during these years he had forgotten maybe many things he had forgotten in German, grammar, and that's why he was not able to understand few words, but still he was trying to read and translate and trying to get what it meant. You must follow the plan already, something to maybe already sent to you or already told to you, or whatever. Okay, but he could not understand this. He could understand this is that this plan is saying that plan is already, means maybe sent or something. You must follow the plan already, something. The vital point in time is 3 minutes before the end of the examination, but something. He could not understand furthermore. He could understand only this, that major point is when just 3 minutes are left, okay, before the exam is over, then this minute is actually, these last 2 minutes, 3 minutes are very crucial, very important. But whatever next was written, he was not able to understand. Then he kept reading, and then he could understand few more things. Don't hit him too hard. Remember, he is a minister. Minister here means person. So this was also instructed that don't hit him too hard, because he is a priest, he's a person. So don't hit him too hard, and don't overdo the Scots accent when. And it was also instructed that don't overdo the, that accent, means maybe in a way it was indication or it was instruction that do not talk too much, because otherwise maybe you would be caught. A fast approaching siren wailed to its crescendo, and the great door of the prison yard were pushed back, and a white police car squealed to a jerky halt beside them. By this time, now a police van with a siren, okay, it came in sight, because this governor, he had already asked for the police van. Now by this time, when governor was trying to read and understand this plan, the police we can say this police van came. And who came? Here you are to underline this name, because you may get this name in some question and sometime you forget that who this person was. Detective Superintendent Carter. Okay, first of all, this detective came. Governor had asked this detective to come so that they can search for Evans. So Detective Superintendent Carter swung himself out of the passenger seat and saluted the governor. What the hell is happening, sir? And turning to McLeary, Christ, who is hit him? Now only he saw that McLeary was profoundly, we can say, bleeding. He said, oh my God, what happened? Who had hit this man? But McLeary cut across whatever explanation the governor might have given. Elsfield Way, officer, I know where Evans. Now governor was trying to explain something to this detective superintendent, but this S. McLeary, he just said, don't worry about me. Just now you come with me, or you take me to Elsfield Way, officer, because I know your culprit has gone to that side, Elsfield Way. I know where Evans. He was breathing heavily and leaned for support against the side of the car, where the imprint of his hand was left in tarnished crimson. In bewilderment, now he was taking, we can say, he was trying to show that he's really that much, because of this much bleeding, he's really very, very weak and he can't even stand properly. So that's why he was taking the side of the car. And now he said, please don't worry about me. Let's go to Elsfield Way, because I know where Evans has gone. In bewilderment, Carter looked to the governor for guidance. Now Carter was unable to understand, means where he should go, with him to the Elsfield Way or to hospital. So that's why for the orders he looked at this governor, means now what is the instruction, governor, what should I do? And governor said, take him with you if you think he will be alright. He's the only one who seems to know what's happening. And then governor also said, you can take him to Elsfield Way, because he's the only one who knows where this person has gone. If you feel that he's okay, he can be taken to that way, you take him, and afterwards only you take him to hospital also. Carter opened the back door and helped McLeary inside, and within a few seconds the car leaped away in a spurt of air. And now this S. McLeary, injured S. McLeary, he was now in the police van with Carter, and now they were going towards Elsfield Way, not to the hospital. Okay, I think this video, 6th video, up to this only. Okay, page number 83. Up to this, I must say, if you want to understand this whole chapter, please watch all the videos. Okay, then only you will be able to enjoy this chapter and understand this chapter.